My cockatoo tequila laid an egg. One could be worth up to $5,000. The other egg, which is not tequila, is 50 cents. Hey, it's Gary Coxe. Today we're going to talk about how to create your products and services in such a way that you can get more for them, not the 50 cents, but the $5,000. So we're going to speak specifically about, to make sure this egg doesn't drop. Specifically speak about 3 things that are so important to being able to do this. All right, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about is positioning, and I'll tell you which egg is the $5,000 egg here in a second. And you saw in the thumbnail, that's Tequila, and she had just laid that egg. All right, positioning. So what does all this mean? Positioning. So you have to position yourself in such a way or in front of the right people where you can command more for your services, your $5,000 egg. So example, in the United States where I reside, cockatoos are rare. So because of that, number one, that positioning in itself causes the price to go up. So you can take this egg and you could raise it into a nice little cockatoo, and it can sell anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But now, here's the interesting thing. Positioning is so important because what that means is if you're positioning yourself in front of people who understand and appreciate your value, you'll be able to get more. But you take this very same egg and you go to Australia with the egg where these cockatoos are wild, they are a nuisance. Those eggs are like the hen eggs, the 50-cent eggs. So positioning is so important. In fact, if you're working on repositioning your products and services where you're working on wanting to charge a higher premium price, you're going to find out it's going to take a little while, because what you're going to do is you're going to lose some of the people who are not the premium people, and you're going to have to work to start your messaging in such a way that it attracts the people that you want, not the people where all the eggs are and they're valueless. So in time you'll see that, and you'll see that also in your social media feeds. You might start seeing a slow transition as you make that transition. And what makes it very difficult, as you make this transition, you're going to lose some business because now you're raising your price. So you're going to have this thing about, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to start losing people. Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. You want to lose people who don't value what you have to offer so you can attract newer people that do value what you have to offer. So positioning is very important. How and where are you positioning yourself? And if you take some time to inventory that, you might find out you're in the wrong neighborhood. We call it the pond. You're fishing in the wrong pond. You know, if you want to find sharks and you want to fish for sharks, you wouldn't go into typically a fresh water pond because your positioning would be incorrect. All right, the next thing is perceived value. Perceived value. So what is your perceived value? So the perceived value of the cockatoo is they talk where a hen or a chicken doesn't talk. So they have the ability to communicate. They're very beautiful typically, depending on the type of cockatoo. And not only are they very beautiful, they're incredibly intelligent. They're like a 5-year-old, 2 to a 5-year-old. So they're really smart. And they also, which is also part of the perceived value, they love attention. Too much attention. They're cuddle bugs. They, depending on the cockatoo and how they were raised, they're very friendly, they're very loving. They want a lot of attention. They want your attention. Like a woman? No, that's terrible. All the time, all right? So these are the perceived values. What is your perceived value? And that's part of your branding. When somebody thinks about your name or product, what do they think about? Do they think about results? Do they think about pain relief? Do they think about speed? Whatever it is that your product is and what it should be perceived at. Now keep in mind, who controls a lot of that perception? You control a lot of that perception. You can't control it all, obviously, but you control a lot of that perception based on the messaging, the format, the videos, the things that you say, and the things that you do. Testimonials also are a great way to get higher perceived value. All right, so next thing is rarity. All right, rarity is very important. What you have here when you think about a cockatoo, there are not lots of them. They are rare compared to chickens. Chickens, you can find them all over the place. So when I take my cockatoos around, people go, oh my gosh, look at that, look at that. They're saying that because it's not a common thing. When somebody walks around with a dog, they don't go, look at that, there's a dog. because they're common. So rarity is very, very important. So how do you position yourself in such a way that you are rare? Now, let me share something with you about positioning. As I shared with you, this egg, I'm going to show you the egg, by the way. This is the $5,000 tequila egg, all right? And this is just a regular egg from the grocery store. But here's what's interesting. Another perception of this egg, I'm going to take this egg now from $5,000 to zero. Here's how I do that. This egg, thank God, isn't fertile. In other words, it ain't gonna hatch. It's not fertile. So what's it worth now? It's worth no more than this egg. And I say thank God because I don't believe really in breeding cockatoos because they are the most rehomed birds because most people don't understand them. They demand a lot of attention. The average person thinks they're really cute and beautiful until they realize, oh my goodness, this is like having another child for 50, 80. They live up to 100 years old. So anyway, that's how you can change the perceived value by telling somebody that, oh no, that's fine, I still want it, yeah, until you have one, right? They're cute till you own them, but no, they really are amazing. So rarity, like it's just like a diamond, right? Perceived value, positioning. A diamond is very, very rare. It's more money, is worth more than, rocks that you see on the ground. Now, how do you make your product rare? Here's something to think about. Excellence over volume. Now, if you have less of what you offer, in other words, you're not offering $20 items, and of course every business is different. Maybe you are selling a $20 item. But if you're selling a higher priced item, I like the idea, which sometimes is a little difficult, takes a while to get there. I like the idea of excellence over volume, which means I'm going to make sure I can charge more because there's going to be less of what I'm offering. But even though I'm charging more, I'm going to make sure that the excellence is phenomenal. And if the excellence is not phenomenal, there's no reason for you to be rare because you're going to be so rare that no one's going to buy because word's out there that your excellence isn't any good anyway and your product does not build a tremendous amount of value for your client. So these are three things that I want you to think about. What can you do to position yourself? It's just like dating. When people say, hey, if you're looking for, a high value woman, one of the things you can do, you can position yourself at charity events because a lot of women are at charity events, right? They're very caring and kind and nurturing. That's called positioning yourself. Perceived value. So what do you look at? How do people look at you? Perceived value is very, very important, and rarity. So think about these three things. How can you move your positioning around? What's your perceived value? Are you perceived as a cheap product? And that's fine. I mean, Walmart's known for being what? Not high expensive, high exclusive, right? So it depends on what you're looking for. And that's why I don't have a big thing against, low ticket item stuff because I know people who make millions of dollars in low ticket items. And I don't say don't do low ticket items, do high ticket items, because whoever side you're on, you're going to have an argument for whatever side. Both sides work. It just depends on what you want to do, what you like to do, and you can do both for that matter. All right, so these are the three things. Focus on them and use it to change your business. I'm out of here. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Love to see you subscribe if you haven't, that way and get to know you a little bit more. And I'm out of here. Between now and the next time we get to chat, you know what to do. And if you don't now, you will. Title of my book, or one of them, Don't Let Others Rent Space in Your Head. Have an awesome day. Focus on these three things and get this to work on hard and making your business change and increasing your income and growing your company as well. See ya.